Hey everybody, I'm Justin Smith. I'm the Director of Institutional Effectiveness here at Western, and I'm also a microcomputer applications adjunct teacher, which is why you see me. I am your instructor for the second 8 weeks, microcomputer applications online. 3C203 is our section number. I just wanted to give you a little bit of a intro to the class, kind of see where some things are to get you started. First of all, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me. You can call me on my office at 580-477-7915. I work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. I have a few times I'm not available throughout the day, but I'll return your call if you leave me a voicemail. My cell phone number as a last resort is listed here, but feel free to use it if you need me. You can't get a hold of me. Also, the primary method of contact for this would be the course email. You can click on that and actually write me an email that stays within the course. And then also we have a Q&A forum that I'll show you here in just a minute. But getting started, I wanted to show you right here's where your syllabus is for the course. And when you click on that, it'll open up this document. This is going to show you everything about the class as far as what you need, what it's expected, the point breakouts of the class, and things like that. You'll see here the description for the course, textbook information. You need a textbook and you need it very quickly. We have stuff coming up that's due, so make sure and get that textbook. They do have it at the bookstore here, but then there's the ISBN if you want to order it online and get it. Some supplies you may need a flash drive. You do have to have internet access, obviously, a computer, and speakers. Learning outcomes and unit objectives, that's what you'll be learning in the class. And we'll have blocks that line up with that, and you'll see those throughout the class as well. And then also getting started is repeated here. It's also on the main page of the class, and then it's also kind of what I'm going to go over today. Course requirements, and then different attendance policies, things like that. The grading scale that you need to be aware of: there are 16 assignments, 10 discussion forums, 10 quizzes, and 1 exam to make up the points, up to 730 points. So there's the breakout, how you get that. And then the other policies about ethics, assessment, things like that. So you need to make sure and read over all that syllabus. As you scroll down the course, you'll see the Getting Started to read that syllabus. There are also different links I'm going to show you down here, and then also making sure that you schedule your final exam with ProctorU. If you don't know how to do that, you can contact me. You go to woc.edu/ProctorU, and you can actually create an account, schedule the final exam if you want to take it online at your computer at your convenience. It's actually a service. You do have to pay for it. The sooner you do it, the less the fee can be, though. As you get closer to that final, you have to pay an increased fee. So I do recommend doing that ahead of time if you plan on using ProctorU to take your test. If you don't plan on using ProctorU, you can use the WOC Testing Center. There's also a few other options. You can contact me if you can't make it to Western or ProctorU. As you scroll down, the first and foremost thing is you'll see the due dates for the class. If you click on that, it'll open up a Word document. Let me make that so you can see it. And it breaks it out by week, what chapters we're doing, when things are due. So first and foremost, there's an introduction form that I'll show you here in just a second, and you need to do that, and you have to have that due by Wednesday, March 22nd. This document doesn't show 5 o'clock on all these. Everything is due at 5 o'clock. The introduction form, all the chapter works, all those will be due on the day listed on the due date at 5 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. So start off with the introduction forum, part 2 of the book, which I need to cover. This is what the book looks like. The book is kind of confusing. There's actually 2 parts. The first part of the book starts with chapter 1, as you would expect. It's part 1, computer concepts. And then about halfway through, after 7 chapters, the book goes to part 2, computer applications with Microsoft Office 2013. So that is the Office, Excel, PowerPoint, things like that. We actually won't cover the first 5 chapters of part 2, but to make things really confusing for the book, on part 1 we have chapter 1 through 7, page number 1 through whatever it goes to, and then part 2 it actually starts back over with chapter 1 and then page number 1. So throughout the class you'll see part 2, chapter 6. Make sure you're in the second half of the book, chapter 6. Make sure that these chapter titles match up what you're reading, and then do the work, because sometimes these projects, you can actually, I've had students turn in projects for the part 1 chapter when we're working on part 2. So just make sure you're paying attention to the book split up into basically 2 books sandwiched together. If you have any questions on that, don't hesitate to contact me though. So part 2, chapter 6 is the first one. It's going to be 2 chapters, chapter 6 and 7 of Word. So you'll read chapter 6. There's actually files in the class. Pull that up. When we get down here to chapter 6, If there's files needed for Chapter 6, they'll be in a little resources like Chapter 7 has. It has student files, so you can open that up and then step through the steps in the book if you want to. You don't have to do that, though, but the book lays out steps of how to complete the things that you'll do in the project, and then it'll tell you on the assignment side of it, excuse me, Chapter 6, we're going to do Chapter 6 Project 3. So when you go to Chapter 6 Project 3 in the class, it'll even say here, this is found on page 182, but again, make sure you're on part 2 of the book. Also note, you have to complete projects 1 and 2 prior to completing 3, so you'll do 1, you'll do 2, do 3, and then turn in a file by adding the submission here. To add a submission, you just click on Add a Submission, click on a new submission, and this is where you'll add the file that you created for the project. You'll choose the file, browse wherever it is, and then upload the file, and then save changes once you're done. So that's how you'll turn in a project. Let me go back to the class. So the due dates for the class are that first document right here, and you'll see what's expected. We're going to do the introduction by March 22nd. Chapter 6 and 7 will both do Monday, March 27th at 5. So you'll have this assignment, these 2 assignments. Again, these may have other projects attached to them that you do beforehand, so make sure and read that part of the book. And then you'll have a quiz for Chapter 6 and 7, all that due by March 22nd. There's also a forum for Microsoft Word tips and tricks. So when you scroll down, you'll see here's the assignment for 6. Here's the assignments, discussion forum, and quiz for 7. So you do have to do the discussion forum, and what's expected is posted in there too. Find some helpful trick that you use in the class that can be helpful. Make an initial post that's worth 6 points, and then you'll have a response to 2 people. And it doesn't have to be super lengthy, but you do have to give a good effort to earn points for the forum and complete. So make sure and have a good 2 to 3, 4 to 5 even sentences for the original post if possible, and then a couple of responses to students in there as well. And then you'll have a quiz, and then we'll just keep going down that Word document table showing all the different chapters that we're working on. Scroll back up here. So here's that due dates file. There's another link to syllabus and course email, but again, those are up here in the header of the course as well. We have a news forum. I'll post this video, and then also any other changes I'll post there, so you get an email as well. And then a lot of times I'll put a news forum post up here as well above the getting started, just so you see it at the very first of the class. If you have any questions about assignments, click here. Students, you need to check this. A lot of times students will post a question and you can help them before I can, so that's great to get in there and help people out there as well. There's some FAQs there. Since we are starting in Office 2013 right off the bat, if you need Office 2013, you do have to have it installed on your computer. The school offers it for free while you're a student here through Microsoft. So you'll click on this link. It'll ask you for your name and then also your school email. You fill that out, click save. It'll actually send a deal to our help desk. They'll create you an account with Microsoft, and then you'll get an email from Microsoft within usually 24 to 48 hours. Now we are on spring break next week, so if you can do that today, that's the best way to do it. So maybe we can get some done before spring break. That way you'll have time to work in Office. Anyway, you'll get a link from Microsoft. You can log in and download Office. By default, you'll get Office 2016, and that's fine. If you already have Office 2016 or 13 on your computer, then you're all set. You don't have to worry about getting 13 if you have 16. The pictures in the book will look a little bit different, but it's mostly just colors. All the locations, all the tabs, all that are going to be the same thing. So don't worry too much about that. Here's that introduction form that is due by 5 on Wednesday, March 22nd. So when you click on that, that should be the first thing you do in the class. Introduce yourself to the class. Your minimum, you'll tell us your name, major, etc. You'll get 6 points for your primary post and then 2 responses. Basically, your responses can are to help you learn how to respond with forums. Of course, if you find something interesting that somebody wants to do, things like that, you can have those discussions. That's the point, is that you'll have interaction between each other. But make sure you're replying to other people so that you can learn that process as well. Scroll back down. I think I covered all those things. And then we'll start with Part 2, Chapter 6, Microsoft Word. So you'll read the chapter. There's resources in here as well. And then in the back of the chapter, you'll see the Chapter 6, Project 3. You can click on this, see if there's any other stuff like that you have to do 1 and 2. And then you'll do that in Word, add the submission, save the changes. Do the same thing for Chapter 7. Make sure and do that discussion forum and the quiz. Please don't wait till 5 o'clock on the Monday that the discussion forums are due to do all your posts. If people will do those ahead of time, get that over with, get that initial post, we'll actually have posts that we can reply to, so it makes it easier for students to post and reply and have that interaction together. I'll be in there as well, guiding and helping as we go doing. After the first two chapters, we'll go back to the part one, chapter one of the class, which is computer concepts. There'll be different types of discussion forums. They're not all just tips and tricks in the different Office programs. So we'll cover 7 chapters of concepts, and then we'll cover 2 chapters of Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. And in between each of those Microsoft Office programs, we'll have a few chapters of of concepts. For each of the concepts chapters, you actually have a quiz. For the Office, Excel, PowerPoint, and Word, you have a quizzes combined for those 2 chapters, so you only have 1 quiz for those. With the exception of 1 week for Excel, you have 2 chapters per week. So you have these 2 chapters that are actually due March 22nd because we're on spring break next week. Then you'll have 2 chapters due the following Monday. This chapter will be, the first chapter of Excel will be the next week, and then you'll have the second chapter of Excel and 1 concept chapter due on the 17th, and then 2 chapters of concepts on the 24th, 2 chapters of PowerPoint on the 1st, and then 2 more chapter concepts on the 8th, and then finals will open. So Monday at 5 o'clock, these assignments are due on Monday, May 8th, and then we'll have the final open 8 o'clock Monday morning. It has to be completed by Friday the 12th at 5. So if you're going to use ProctorU, go schedule that now. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask me. Send me an email using the course email right up here. You can post in the questions about assignments, things like that, or contact me directly if you need to. Be sure that you're staying on task. This class is very rapid. It's 8 weeks. We're doing 2 chapters a week, and you can get behind very quickly if you don't pay attention. So just make sure you've got that assignment due dates. I'd print it out, put it between part 1 and part 2 of your book so you know which side you're working in. Do your introduction forum. If you do not have Office 2013 or 16, fill that out right now so that you can get that link sent to you hopefully before 5 today, and I'll ask the help desk to double check before 5 to make sure everybody's got accounts that needs them, and then do that introduction forum, do that, and then get started reading chapter 6 Word and then chapter 7 Word. Alright, if you have any questions, please, like I said, don't hesitate to contact me. I'm available. I'll be available next week via email as well, so just give me a shout out if you need me. I'm looking forward to this class with you guys. If you have special requests, you can't find something, you just have any kind of trouble at all, just don't hesitate to contact me. I can definitely point you in the right direction. Again, these question and answers about assignments help each other out if you have questions. We'll have a good semester. 8 weeks will be here before you know it, and we'll be done with this class. So I look forward to working with you. Like I said, just don't hesitate to ask me questions. Thanks.